Hello guys and welcome back. Welcome back to today's video, and today I am very excited to finally bring you the first news, the first exclusive news that we have from yesterday's presentation of the unveil of the Doom game from the Quakecon 2014. So what happened yesterday? Yesterday was the first big day of Quakecon, and actually we had the unveils of the new Doom game. Now the problem is that id Software wanted to. They said what they said actually was that they wanted to make a gift to the loyal fans, so they want to give them a sneak peek. The problem is though that they weren't ready to share the news with the world. So beside the people that were there, no one has ever seen a video from the gameplay that was shown there. What we know, what they shared actually was the impressions from the people that have been there, from the tweets, from the YouTubes, and from various sites. As you can see over here, I have the news from IGN and GameSpot, of course, and here also I have a video that came up on the Twitter. Actually, it's like half hour ago from on the Twitter of Quakecon, and they showed as you can see over here, the reactions from the unveils. Actually, it's a very nice, interesting video. There are a lot of stuff, good stuff to see. Some more, let's say, details on how people saw the unveil, what they thought, and some actually very juicy stuff that came out. So this is a list of the things that we've seen on the new Doom game. Let me start reading. So the game has been a long time coming, with it being first mentioned at QuakeCon way back in 2007 by John Carmack. Yeah, of course, that was a big day. Its co-founder and then lead developer for the company. Recording of any kind was prohibited at the event, but there was a lot of information to process during the 20-minute long gameplay demo. Here are a bunch of the highlights. So let's go through the highlights, and I will explain on every one of them as we read them. Fast-paced combat against multiple enemies at once. Doom 3, this ain't. What that means, in case that it isn't very clear, is that contrary to what Doom 3 was, which was, let's say, a horror game prior, and secondly was, let's say, the classic Doom as we know it. It was more of a touch of the terror aspect of the game. So we had slower combat, we had not fighting versus hordes of enemies, just because the engine was absolutely, the graphics were absolutely stunning, and they said that if they put more enemies in there, no PC could handle it, and actually most PCs would crash, etc. So, except that, the new game will have hordes of enemies, will have fights versus multiple enemies. So that's what it means. It's set outside the massive UAC research facility on Mars as it's being invaded by forces of hell. Now that is a new actually thing that we've read here. From all the news that we have until now, it was believed that the new Doom game would take part on Earth, like the classic Doom 2 and Doom 1 did. But instead, we will have a defense versus the hordes of hell that try to attack the UAC facility on Mars, which is not a bad thing actually. It's a nice twist on the story. So, Hell Knights, Cyber Demons, Relevants, Mancubi, and other classic monsters were spotted throughout the demo. Yeah, that shouldn't be a surprise. They couldn't exclude these monsters, these iconic monsters from the demo, but they mentioned here just to be sure. So, classic Doom weapons, including the fan-favorite double-barrel shotgun, return. Plasma rifle, rocket launcher, and the good old chainsaw were also shown off. Now, Also, I would disagree just a little bit about the double barrel shotgun being the most favorite. Personally, the classic shotgun is my favorite. With that amazing reload and crack sound that they did, was just amazing. But I can understand that the double barrel shotgun would be also a favorite weapon. And what we've read, and as you will hear on the video also, the chainsaw, the new chainsaw that they put in there, is actually amazing. I remember reading on a tweet about a demon having shit his pants and being scared, and having covered his hands with his face with his hands like that, right? And the Doom guy just took the chainsaw and started cutting from the hands to the neck, and from the other part of the hands falling off, necks parts falling off, gore everywhere. So yeah, cutting demons in half, chopping them to pieces, be prepared for that, be prepared for a lot of gore. Go fast. Doom is not about taking cover, said exclusive producer Matt Staton. Marty, dude, thank you. That's fucking amazing. That's where the stuff is. Indeed, Doom shouldn't be about having to think, oh shit, my life is low, I have to take cover and get my life to regenerate. That's for pussies. That's for the new age combat mechanic that was developed with Modern Warfare and crap like that. We don't need that in Doom. It was fun just for the Doom 3. It doesn't belong in a Doom game. Wolfenstein was 1,000 times better with a new health pack pickup mechanic. Put that in there. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the roots and let's keep reading. Doom is powered by id Tech 6, which is amazing by the way, and will be for PCs, PS4 and Xbox One. No, of course, new gen system for the console, because there is no new gen for PCs. Of course, they are committed to 1080p, 6 frames per second, of course. Doom is famous for believing in that kind of frame rates and the high resolution, so this shouldn't come as news to anyone that's familiar with id Software. Let's go on. Wonderfully gory close range executions, including special ones for dropping down from enemies from above. That's a big one, guys. That's a huge one. I've also read on a tweet that the Doom guy now has jetpacks that allows him to double jump. Now, I don't know how big the jump is, since we don't have any actual news videos, but as we can read here, we will have a lot of close combat encounters, and now it seems that the finishers are a core mechanic to the game. Does that remind you of a mod called Brutal Doom? Yeah. Someone should be proud. I'm talking to you, guy, that made the Brutal Doom mod. Revenants now have jetpacks and can hover about while firing rockets at you. So yeah, so remember the Revenants, those nasty beasties with the rockets. Yeah, these guys can hover on the air with the jetpacks while firing rockets at you. So it would be a nice idea to reinstall Quake 3 and start practicing with your dodges, guys, in case you haven't figured until now. At least one weapon, the combat shotgun, has an alternate fire mode which allows you to charge up and release multiple shells in rapid succession. If you are familiar with Bulletstorm and you know the huge shot that you could charge up with your rifle, this should be something like that. By the way, if you haven't played Bulletstorm, play it. It's very fun. It's very fun. Parenthesis. Yeah, so there is a mechanic like that for at least that weapon. Most probably we will have more weapons with that kind of mechanic, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Our real tournament first, if I remember correctly, started this trend with the alternate fire modes. Yeah, why not? Sprinting, double jumping, and multling are also possible, making it for very fluid motion during combat. That was stated very clearly. They said that it was very important stuff, a thing for them, to have fast, fluent, and fast-paced combat. So sprinting, double jumping, as I said, jetpacks, and also now you can mantle over walls, grabbing over the wall, over a wall to pass on the other side. Now it's possible. This will make a nice fluid combat indeed. A new mechanic to spice up the game, right? Pass over edge, etc. Enemies can teleport in for an old school style ambushes. We love that. We like that. That's stuff that we want. Dying results in a crazy fatality scene depending on what killed you, a la Dead Space. Revenants rip your arms off and punch straight through your combat helmet. Helmet should be here. Yeah. Thank you, Dead Space, for that. Thank you. And thank you, id Software, for taking all these cool ideas and put them into our favorite game. Old school mechanics. Now, this one, guys, take note. No reloading your clip. Hold as many weapons as you fucking want. Health and ammo pickups, etc. No regenerating health. Thank you, fucking thank you. Now, I am bored. I am fucking sick of regenerating health. It's a trend that came with new age shooters. Now, I understand that. For a game like Modern Warfare and Battlefield, maybe it suits them better. But I fucking hate that mechanic to all the new shooters that come up. It is not necessary to have a good game and to have you don't need regenerating health in order to have a good game. What I want to say. It's a mechanic that has no place on a Doom game. Yes, it was fun for just Doom 3. Thank you. It's enough. Let's move on. Bring back the ammo packs, the health packs. So yeah, that's amazing. Also, you shouldn't actually be very. You shouldn't actually. This one about the clip. It shouldn't be presented as very strange to you guys. Since they said that they want to come back to the roots, go back to the roots, having fast-paced combat. You do know that reloading, pausing the game, your gameplay in order to reload your clip slows down the game, right? Yes, of course, it gives some tactical advantage, tactical gameplay, let's say, but we don't want that in our Doom game, do we? Nah. Doom 2 and all the old Dooms were amazing just because, and that's why they could give you hordes of enemies, just because you could unload a 400 bullet machine gun on them without giving a shit, actually, and then going around the corner, grabbing 250 pack shells of bullets and go slaughter another 200 demons. So fuck that. Alright, so let's read on. Executive producer Starty Saddon, the guy that we are starting to love actually, took the stage prior to the gameplay demonstration to introduce a philosophy of Doom, which is to be as true as possible to the fast-paced combat, again, very important to the new team, and sense of power of the originals. One guy versus the entire hell. That power, that sense of empowerment, of feeling badass, that's what we want. He didn't call Doom 3 out specifically, but he made it very clear that was a return to Doom's roots. The word origin slipped out, though he didn't explicitly state Doom would be an origin story. So what that means is that we don't know exactly where on the story this takes place. What we do know is that this is no longer called Doom 4. This is called Doom. We know that would be one of the initial stories of the game, and that would take place on the early Doom game history. Yeah, and something like that. Most probably new stuff will come out as we go on. Now, no new details were shared about beta or release timing, that's to be expected. Anyone who pre-ordered Wolfenstein The New Order will have access to the beta for Doom. That's important, don't forget that. If you have pre-ordered the Wolfenstein game, you will be able to play the new Doom beta. And I can't fucking wait to get my hands on that and get that on the internet to show you guys. But no comment was made about when players might be able to start fragging Whiteout yet. Yeah, of course, we don't have any info. Also, as a parenthesis, in this site of IGN, it's this good little video where they did a playthrough of the Doom 1 with John Romero. If you are not maybe familiar with who John Romero was, John Romero was one of the co-founders together with John Carmack of the id Software company. John Romero left company after Quakecon, I think. So yeah, most probably I think that Quakecon was the last game that John Romero did. Very nice video, go check that out. You will hear a lot of interesting stuff that this guy has to say. So guys, this is it. That's the first big news that we can have with our hands on after a lot of time, after so much time actually. It seems like forever. So remember, I will put the links down in the description below in case you want to go read them by yourself. Also, the IGN, the GameSpot site, and also the Quakecon video after the Quakecon, the first impressions that people had. So what I want from you guys is I want to hear your opinion about this. You already know my opinion about this stuff. Oh, nearly I forgot. There is one thing that I've read on Twitter, I think, and I am a bit skeptical about. Now, I remember reading that thing about the double jumping and multiple, etc. I remember reading that he double jumped early over a ledge, and he landed a bit prematurely, so he grabbed up to the ledge and hovered upwards. Now, I remember reading that although that there seemed to be quite a lot of playing around on the level, sometimes you couldn't divert from the path, and that was a bit worrying. Let's say I have quite a lot of trust in the new team. But I really think that and I really hope that we won't going around and finding stuff. It won't be an issue on the new Doom, because let's talk about this stuff. All right, you can't really have a Doom game without having exploration, right? Without having secrets and running around finding the fucking keys, the secret rooms with the power-ups, with the secret levels. Also, you can remember in the Doom 2 game that I did the playthrough, the 2 secret Wolfenstein levels that they did. All that stuff, I think it's very necessary. So please don't make it linear. Make it as non-linear as it can be. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And also, one more thing is that when John Carmack left id Software, for going and working with Oculus, with the other guys, many people, including myself, were worried about the new let's say about how id Software would progress without the founders of id Software. Because if you think about it, like I said before, John Carmack and John Romero actually were the two biggest brains in the id Software, the core of id Software, let's say. And many people thought that if John Carmack left, then who would be, let's say, big enough in order to create the new Doom game? But sometimes, and as proof, we have the new Wolfenstein game, which was amazing, was easily one of the best single-player games I've ever played in my life. Sometimes having a new team, new people with new ideas, fresh ideas around around this project, and having the passion that they have for the Doom game that they seem to have, sometimes is not a bad thing, because developing Doom for so many years sometimes could be a tiring situation process. So keep faith, have faith in the new team, guys. We know that they can work, and we will see what happens. So that's the part of the video where I really want to hear your opinions about that. I want to hear what's your best thing that you heard today on the news that I've read you. What's your biggest expectation for the new Doom game, and what's your biggest fear of the new Doom game? Post it down in the description below. I can't wait to hear your thoughts about that. Also, throw me a like if you found this video interesting or entertaining, and I will see you next time. I will keep this video updated, of course, for any news that we have as the time passes of the Doom game, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, guys.